It looks like we are live. Welcome back to another edition of the Mining Market Signal. Lovely audience, I apologize for the gym attire. I'll be heading to the gym immediately following this episode. So if I weren't in so much of a time crunch, I would have put on my nicer duds for you. That's how we like to do. Let me jump out of the way and get straight into the Fear and Greed Index. Back at a score of 50. Wow. Okay, 50 is the new teens. 50 is the new 23. 50 is the new extreme fear. Apparently, most of the market is feeling pretty good, right? Pretty neutral about values right now. We've got the live comment section as well to get to. Let me just say quickly hello to Sam. Thank you for being here. To Crypto Mikkel, to Gallo Salome. Thank you all for being here. And to anybody else who's just tuning in right now, thank you so much for hitting that thumbs up and for sharing this video so we get a more active live chat session. Do I only acknowledge super chats? No, we're not at that level of growth for this channel just yet. We can just have a frank and open conversation. I love that about the community and the phase of development we're at right now. But I do want to thank you so much for bringing us to the 10,000 subscriber mark. Almost had a Freudian slip there, $10,000 mark. That's not. Don't get it twisted. That's not what this is about. And yeah. I just appreciate you being here to have a great conversation with and for us to talk about cryptocurrency values for miners. We're doing our 10,000 subscriber giveaway. Yay! And yes, we are going to be doing a low profile Raspberry Pi full node case. It's a sandwich style case that I make myself, but with a friend who does a little bit of 3D printing for me. I'm not doing that just yet. Going to dabble soon, but I like doing laser cut toppers right there. So I think we're going to be giving this away. I think we're going to have to do a comment picker after the fact. So do me a favor, and after this video is done, in the comment section of this video, go ahead and just tell me what coin you think we should add to our portfolio. Doesn't matter. Go crazy, spam it. Obviously, don't put any links there. They won't show up because I've got very, very heavy filters, and obviously don't put real spam bots in the comments section because I'm going to have to ban you for life. Your comments won't show up in the future after you do that. But after this video is over, be sure to leave your comment for the coin that you want to have added to the portfolio there. We're also going to be talking about this live, right? When we get to the portfolio section. But as a thank you to you, I'd like to add more value to your life. So we'll pick a winner there. And if that winner does decide that they want a custom Raspberry Pi full node case sandwich style like this, which is fully backwards compatible to Raspberry Pi 3s because the mounting hardware is the same and should be forward compatible to Raspberry Pi 5 when it is released, well then, you're in luck. Tonight's the right night to be here live, all right? So there it is. And yeah, we'll be able to do that comment picker after the fact, guys. But in the meantime, please do share this video far and wide. It does improve the reach, and it makes our conversation that much more fun, right? So yeah, guys, I like that sandwich style just because it's got that forwards compatibility and backwards compatibility for Raspberry Pi devices. These single board computers, all the competitors to Raspberry Pi as well, tend to put their mounting hardware in the same approximate placement as the Raspberry Pi so that they're compatible with cases. And especially with sandwich style cases, that means it's very likely usable for ROC 64 parts as well. So that means whoever gets this is going to be able to put almost any single board computer, at least any single board computer that's Raspberry Pi mounting compatible, into this. So we'll have a custom design just for you guys. I don't have it cut tonight. It'll be custom done just for one person. So I'll be doing that with love. All right, guys, jumping out of the way here. Fear and Greed Index is at 50. Let's take a look at the trend again. We're staying strong at 50. Apparently they show that's a very, very strange curve there. Some kind of a log curve that they're showing there instead of just showing that it's the same value for the 2 days. But we now live in neutral territory. Very interesting to see indeed, because we were living in extreme fear for weeks, not just a few weeks, over a month. But jump back in time 3 months, really zoom out, and we can see we were in greedy territory not too long ago, so this isn't too big a surprise. And as far as this goes, you may be wondering, what is the Fear and Greed Index? If you're new to the show, if you're new to the channel, the Fear and Greed Index is a measured automated sentiment generator that crawls through Twitter and Reddit posts and figures out how do people feel about Bitcoin largely and cryptocurrency in general today. And I guess largely Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? But people feeling, what are their feelings about Bitcoin and Ethereum, DeFi in general, cryptocurrencies in general, the blockchain industry, what do they think? And so it's more of it's an automatically generated value, but it tends to be a pretty good, in my opinion, counter indicator as far as what other people are doing the opposite. However, now that we're in neutral territory, we're like exactly at 50. What do you do with that? That's middle of the road. It's perfectly neutral. How do we decide what to do if the market isn't deciding what to do? This is a little bit more tricky, guys. I'm just going to admit it's not total defeat here for me, but I am a little bit perplexed as to where I go next. Also, just want to say shout out to the SafeCoin team for no other reason than that they are my workout shirt for tonight. So, Jeff, if you're watching, thanks for that t-shirt. Yes, I cut the sleeves off mercilessly because I didn't want to sweat up your cool shirt. So still, it's a lot of fun. Nobody ever asks me about it when I'm at the gym. They're like, SafeCoin. I don't know. Must be a scam. You know how normies are, right? They're like, does it have to do with that Bitcoin thing? I don't want to talk about it. Whatever. So here we are, Fear and Greed Index at 50, holding steady. Let's see what happens tomorrow. It'll be very interesting to see how this develops over the next couple of days. TX Street shows us, and Son of a Tech debuted a video earlier on today that I think indicates that gas fees are up, right? Median gas price actually not up based on last night, but median gas price is now at 25.3 Gwei. And we see right there a little bit higher for that finalized block, about 26 Gwei there, but the median gas price is 25.3. Looks pretty typical there. And for Bitcoin, our mempool count is at only about 1,200, and the median fee for sending a Bitcoin transaction is only 24 cents. Again, we're still in phenomenal territory for people who are interested in sovereign self-custody of their Bitcoin to do a bit of mixing. It is not illegal as far as I can tell, but on that note, when's the last time I told you that I disclaim you? You ready? Lean in. None of this is financial advice. That's right. That's right. I'm so sorry. I'm such a tease. That's so messed up. Anyway, as far as mixing, if you are gonna mix, so if you are going to mix your Bitcoin, you want to do that when fees are at their lowest so that your total cost for mixing your Bitcoin in a Whirlpool transaction or in a CoinJoin transaction is, low. You don't lose your Bitcoin to the mixing. You want to keep those fees as low as possible. So we want to look for opportunities like this where at the average, the median fee, it's below 25 cents. And for slow delivery, right? Slow fees, we can bring that even lower, right? The average cost for a Bitcoin transaction is 3.02 sats per VByte. And then again, with that 25 or so Gwei on Ethereum, that means that the real world cost for just sending Ether, not sending tokens, not sending ERC20 tokens or running them through a smart contract, just sending Ether, about $1.21. And then the median contract fee is over $7 at about $7.70-ish for those fees. Again, we'll keep our eyes on this, but fees are good enough. They're high enough right now that Ethereum miners should be pretty happy with profits there. Again, shout out to Son of a Tech for bringing that up, talking about, what is it, Stoner Kitties, I think is the name of the NFT series or the game or whatever. I think it's called Stoner Kitties, but he did a video about that. Clearly worth catching up on. I didn't quite have enough time to watch the whole thing tonight, but I'm going to have to catch up on that, put it on my playlist. I love that these projects come out and they say, you know what? This is going to be so cool. We're the next big NFT thing. We're the future of DeFi. And for us, miners, we're like, yes, you are. You're the future of DeFi. Stoner Cats, thank you, William. But Stoner Cats, like, yes, you're the future. You're the future of NFT gaming. You're the future of DeFi. You're the future of finance. Just keep doing transfers, and we'll keep telling you that you're awesome, guys. GPU miners, we love you. Keep it up. So transfer fees clearly are not quite as high, maybe as elevated as they were when he did that. And William Sullivan is saying also that this is Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis's project then. Stoner Cats is theirs. The plot thickens. This is the one that Vitalik is doing the voiceover work on, isn't it? Interesting. And BBT mentioned that before as well in his video. I got a couple videos to catch up on tonight. I'll come back with more tomorrow night when we go live after having watched those. Now I'm a little more excited, going to lean in just a little more. As far as collectibles go, I'm not sure if these like A-list celebrities are necessarily going to be good or bad. In the previous bull run, getting A-list Hollywood celebrities involved in cryptocurrency was kind of a top signal, right? So I always get a little bit nervous when I see this sort of thing. It makes me very nervous indeed, because they already have significant amounts of wealth. They could just invest in cryptocurrencies very quietly. Why do they have to come in and pump stuff? You know what I mean? It always makes me nervous. Anyway, bit of interference there. Take a look at fiat leaks. See where does the Bitcoin go? Where does it go today? Clearly, it's going into US dollars, Korean won. What do we have here? Indonesian rupiah. Wow. And then, of course, the South African rand. Plenty of Japanese yen going into Bitcoin today. And it looks like plenty of Brazilian real as well. Those are our notables right there. Looks like we see a little bit of Ukrainian finance. Ukrainian money is that the hryvnia, the Ukrainian hryvnia. I think that's what it's called, guys. I'm pretty sure that's what the Ukrainians call it. I know, man of culture, man of taste. At any rate, Ukrainian money is going into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's going right back into Ukraine. That's not too big a surprise. We've talked about it before. Plenty of mining interests in that region of the world. Plenty of mining talent in that region of the world. I mean, for crying out loud, that's where Hive OS and Hive on Pool are developed, is over in Ukraine. So I'm not too shocked to see that. But, gosh, what do we have over here? That is our... No, that's not right either. What am I seeing over here? That's our Japanese yen. Of course, I was going to say these little islands out in Asia. Nemesis is in the house. What's up, man? He says, yo, what's up, everyone? Guys, say hello. Say hello to Nem. He's here. What are you doing? Don't be impolite. Say hi. Anyway, it's cool to see you here. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Just taking a look at Fiat Leak right now. Again, we are at 39,965. Si se puede, Bitcoin. You can do it. You can do it all night long. But I mean, seriously, if the Asian market wakes up, Bitcoin literally can do it all night long. Maybe we'll see 40K Bitcoin tomorrow. Can't wait to take a look over at our chart and see what happens overnight. That's going to be really cool. Let's get those trades going there instead of the chat. That's a lot more useful, I think. We see plenty of the exchanges and the trades that are happening right there, whether they are going into that exchange or going out of that exchange, which direction that is going, either a receipt or a transmission of a transaction. So at any rate, here's our Ethereum chart, and USD is going out. Euro, plenty of Korean won. Wow, guys, the serious DeFi players are here using the euro to buy, and using the US dollar to buy, and using the Korean won to buy. I think that really means something. I think that there's a flight to hard assets from some of those other countries, and here there's a flight to the more speculative DeFi side of the assets based on the Ethereum transfer. Again, guys, it's just a hunch. We could take a closer look at some other indicators that would let us know for sure what's going on there, and some of the news and some of the sentiment coming out of these markets. But this kind of, to me, indicates, maybe my gut is telling me, that there's more participation in DeFi in some of these markets, especially with the euro. Yes, there's regulation in certain EU states, EU participants, EU countries, but there's also huge opportunity with the way the regulation is crafted. There are some people that, for example, oh my goodness, some platforms that are just not available to us here in the United States or available to certain other countries. So that's kind of where my mind goes, is that there's some DeFi happening in EU states, and that's why we're seeing so much euro be pumped into it. Again, if you're just showing up, guys, sorry I went sleeveless because I'm literally about to leave from our live stream tonight to go do something else. This is not usually my jam, not usually my look. I don't go to board meetings dressed in a sleeveless tee. It's also summer, guys. Sometimes you gotta just gotta beat the heat, gotta take off a few layers, a little more comfy. Going over to what to mine, let's take a look at what is profitable in our high-end cards on the NVIDIA side at 14-cent power, profitability and difficulty for revenue set at an average of 7 days. And I need to shout out, somebody mentioned in the comments from last night's video, and it just reminded me, we had the volume filter placed on this of 5 BTC, and that's why Ergo stopped showing up. Ergo's trading volume has clearly gone down. So whether that's a function of the coin value going down and the resulting trade value, like the total volume of trade, going down based on the actual coin value, or it just means there's less participation. William says, just don't take off too many layers and you're good. Noted. Made that mistake exactly once. I did do a live stream exactly once with my shirt off. Y'all went crazy. Y'all went wild. It was a long time ago. I was so innocent then. All right, so looking back at the chart here, let's take that volume filter from 5, bring it down to 1 BTC, just so we see what happens. We're going to shake things up just a little bit. Go Crypto says it's 90 degrees in Pennsylvania, but here's the thing. You got the Amish. They pretty much make up for it. Doesn't matter how hot it gets. You've always got the Amish. Look, that's not fair. We don't get the Amish over here. Sure, it's a little bit cooler, but we don't have Amish people to fix all our cars and stuff, so stop complaining. Back to our chart. Let's calculate again. Take a look at that. Just above 1 BTC per day filter. And we've got Ethereum at the top of the stack, as you expect. And it is at $13.93. Yes, profits are steadily moving up. They're just creeping upwards towards $14 for those 4 cards. About half that's going to go to the 3090. As you know, at 50% of the hash rate, ergo 50% of the profit is going to go to the 3090. Anonymous Miner says, I think the Amish are stealing all the graphics cards. You know what? Ha! Illuminati confirmed. That sounds like a plausible reason. The Amish they're very, very smart people. Do not underestimate the Amish. They'll do it. So scrolling down the list, Ravencoin is at $9.53 per day. Firo is at $9.19, not far behind Ravencoin. That's pretty cool to see. Again, still there on the leader stand. Ethereum Classic at $8.58, so not a huge contender. And there's Ergo again with that trading volume at only 3 BTC daily, but Ergo is at $8.24 per day. Zano not too far behind it, but the trading volume is far higher, meaning that we may have the opportunity to actually liquidate those profits without damaging the entire market cap, right? If that volume is already happening, we can throw our trades into there without it making too big a ripple, right? Too big waves. Go Crypto says the Amish build houses, they don't do cars. I beg to differ, sir. I beg to differ. And I also think it's probably true that they stole all the GPUs. Just saying, Illuminati confirmed. You can, as soon as you put on your tinfoil hat, you'll see clearly. Just don't believe everything you read about the Amish. So here we are back on the list, seeing Zano is there with higher volume than Ergo. That to me may be a bigger indicator. Yeah, again, than the total market cap. It's really that daily volume, right? If we have too small an amount of daily volume to put our trades into, if we have to liquidate in order to cover our costs, then we're in trouble, right? The other way around, if there's a giant market cap but very little liquidity, then it doesn't really matter, right? Like there could be a lot more holders and very few people trading anyway. Then again, even with that daily volume, there's always the possibility for wash trading, right? That's always possible. We just don't know. Always possible. But that's on our heaviest hitting Team Green cards. Let's go to our value and efficiency cards on Team Green. 3060, 2060, 1660, and 1060. Still with the volume filter set for only over 1 Bitcoin. It only seems to make a difference for Ergo right now. But with 3 Bitcoin, I think we're probably in decent territory, or at least for this show, for the number of viewers here on this live stream every night, that we're not going to go overwhelm these networks, right? It's not going to be too bad. Go Crypto says the Amish car is a horse seed. Bro, give up. Know when you're beat. Look, the Amish work on cars. It's just a fact. Look it up. Am I going to give you a source? I'll give you my source. Watch it. I'm getting my source. Take a look at this chart real fast while I get my source. I got sources. Yeah. There are sources here. I'll get them for you. Okay, you know what? Let me take a look at the profit on these cards first. Ethereum, top of the list, 648. Ravencoin, second in 517. Firo is, again, number 3 here. So I'm seeing a pattern there. Really good to see Firo showing up. It's awesome at 468. And then Zano is that 4th in terms of native assets, right there at 405. Ergo is on the list, but it's far, far lower. It's not quite half of what the profitability is on Ethereum, though. So if you're feeling strong about Ergo, really very strongly about Ergo, there you go. Not a problem at all. You can probably still mine that and not feel too bad about it. Let's go with the 6000 and the 5000 series composite right there with the 5600 XT and the 6800 XT. Calculate our profits here. Again, we know 60% roughly of the profit from this calculation is going to go to that 6000 series card, top of the line. The other 40% is going to go to the bottom of the line 5000 series card. You do the math. this card, the 5600 XT, it costs, you get it for more than a 20% discount from the 6800 XT, but its profitability is only 20% lower. Just saying, it's about more than the hash rate, guys. Scrolling down, we see that Ethereum is at the top of the list, 638. Ravencoin still in second place at 454. Ethereum Classic now taking third at 384. And Auto Lycos algorithm for Ergo is coming in to displace Firo anywhere here. Clearly, Merkle tree proofs are not doing so hot on this architecture at 325. Kevin Hawthorne is in the house. Hello, Kevin Hawthorne. Welcome. Guys, go ahead and say hello to Kevin. He's tuning in all the way from Florida. Good to see you here, man. Thanks for spending some time with us tonight. Really appreciate you being here. So that's our 6,000 and 5,000 series cards for Team Red. Going to the top of the line HBM2 card, the Radeon 7. Very, very fast memory. What is HBM2? If you're wondering, if you're watching the show and you're wondering, what is HBM2? Well, it's an acronym. It stands for High Bandwidth Memory, and it's the second revision of it from AMD. They had a first version of it that came out in earlier cards, and HBM2, or High Bandwidth Memory version 2, came out largely in these Vega cards, the Vega 56, the Vega 64, the Vega Frontier Edition, and then the Radeon 7, which is kind of not really called a Vega card, but it shares some similarities. It has the similar Vega core, next generation Vega core inside, but it's HBM2 memory. A lot faster than GDDR6, a lot faster than GDDR5. Very, very fast memory. When it's paired with a very wide memory bus, 256-bit memory bus or higher, it tends to really cook on Ethereum. Just for anybody who's new to this, that's what I mean when I talk about HBM2 on the Radeon 7. Let's calculate, see what's profitable on the Radeon 7. We've talked about it the last couple of days. It's really good. Ethereum mining card, there it is, $5.78 per day. But let's look at our number 2 spot, Ergo, $4.38, more than $1 off. It's almost $1.50 lower per day. Moving down the line, Ethereum Classic at only $3.51. Ravencoin at only $2.55, and then Beam way down here at almost $2. Callisto, which is also it's Dagger Hashimoto like Ethereum, profits are very low there. So when Ethereum stops being profitable to mine on any GPU, it's possible the Radeon 7 is going to take the biggest hit. We're just now starting to see some of the tech YouTubers on other channels pick up on this. We've been talking about it for the better part of a week now, right? But they're just starting to pick up on the fact that when this happens, there will likely be a return to sort of normalized stock levels and used GPUs that go back into the market and allow for gamers and content creators and computer science students and researchers and everybody else who needs GPUs to perform complex calculations. There's going to be likely a return to normal pricing for them so they can get their GPUs at a cost that they really like. And I suspect that the Radeon 7 may be one of those cards that leads the charge because it's so high performance on Ethereum and it's not quite as high performance on many other algorithms. It's kind of an odd duck that way. But anyway, just a hunch. I'm not sure, guys. Again, no, don't take anything on this channel as like gospel truth. It's kind of a hunch, so take it with a grain of salt. But that's our lineup right there. Ethereum is definitely the way to go on the Radeon 7. Moving down to the Vega 56, this is our bottom of the line HBM2 card. This was the least expensive HBM2 Vega core card you could get when it launched. It's still largely the case that it's the least expensive way for you to get an HBM2 card that hashes very fast. So here we are on the lineup for the Vega 56. Scrolling down the lineup, and oof, it hurts my heart to see Nice Hash in first and second place respectively like that, but Ethereum is very, very close at 283. Ergo not far behind at 276. And this is what makes my brain hurt, guys. The Radeon 7, it was almost $1.50 split, almost $1.50 difference between Ethereum and Ergo. But here on this other HBM2 Vega core card, they're almost neck and neck. Right? They're spitting distance of each other. 7 cents difference. That's not far at all. And then a distant third is Ravencoin at almost $1.70, right? And then Ethereum Classic even below that. So Ergo and Ethereum neck and neck for that Vega 56. I suspect it's going to be the same for the Vega 64 and the Vega Frontier Edition as well. If you got a 16 gig Vega Frontier Edition, whether liquid cooled or air cooled, I think you're going to see similar performance from those cards also. So very, very interesting there. Jump into the 8 gig Polaris Edition card, the 580, and we're going to take for granted Again, that you're running on 14-cent power. And Ethash all day, $1.68. Ravencoin at 88 cents. Ethereum Classic at 94 cents. So definitely a clear winner, right? It pulls ahead by 6 cents. I mean, I realize that's not a whole lot day over day, but you're at under $1 of profit. So that's more than a 6% difference in your profitability. It's significant, right? Day over day. And that adds up, right? Those margins are what get you, right? They either help you or they hurt you. So you have to pay attention to every little bit of profit you can eke out. Ergo, very close as well at 87 cents per day. So if you feel really strongly ideologically about either of these projects, Ergo or Ravencoin, it's not a bad place to put your hash rate, right? Again, you guys hear me say it. I'm not here to pick winners, but I am here to earn profit, right? So if we got more profit on other GPUs, that kind of makes more sense. Yes, they're great projects to support. And yes, I love the leadership of a lot of these projects, but they know, they know from me, I run GPUs to make a profit. That's what it's about for me at the end of the day. If I want to support their project, I will hold their coin, right? Or if they have some kind of a staking system or masternode system, I'm going to earn the top amount every day in Ethereum, and I'm going to try to go and get more of their coin if I feel strongly about it. That's just how it's going to be for me. All right, back to the top of the list here, going to that 4 gig Polaris edition card. And we're going to represent that by having the 470 here or 570 here. And you know, before we do that, let's preemptively change the Ethash 4G to 30.5 mega hash because that's more accurate or more reflective of what it can actually do. And dropping down the list, we see Ravencoin, 92 cents per day, but Ethereum Classic at 97 cents per day, Ergo at 82 cents per day, and then Beam makes the list at 58. That's our leaderboard. But Ravencoin looking really strong with really high trading volume. Ethereum Classic, however, obviously far higher trading volume. We're looking at greater than 4 times the trading volume. That looks like, gosh, what is that? It's 5 times the trading volume, I think, at 47. Let's get the numbers here exactly right, guys. So what is that? 4 times 7, we're looking at 28. Yeah, we're well over 4 times the trading volume. Just over 5 times the trading volume. I apologize. 5 times the trading volume. Let me double check that one more time. Guys, my table napkin math or my back of the brain math right now is failing me. It is failing. So let's go 224, divide that by just 47. We'll round down. Yeah, it's almost 5 times as much, guys. That's just killer. There's so much more volume, trading volume on Ethereum Classic. If we can actually see DeFi migrate over to Ethereum Classic, guys, I'm starting. This wasn't happening before tonight, but I'm starting to get just a little bit excited about seeing what happens with Ethereum Classic. It would be so cool to see a lot of the action that has been going on with DeFi in the Ethereum space translate over to Ethereum Classic. Wouldn't that be cool? I think it'd be cool personally. I'd love to see it. Bob Summerwill and a lot of the project leadership over at in the Ethereum development consortium. There's some really, really great talent over there, really dedicated talent over there. And the chain is longer than Ethereum. It is technically by the longest chain metric. It is the real, air quotes, Ethereum. So there's that too. It's very interesting. But anyway, let me jump up. Let me get up to speed on our comments in just a second here, guys. First off, I'm going to go to the Fury, the R9 Fury. Now, this is a generation of cards that is totally not in stores anymore. Either you got one of these or you're getting it secondhand. There's no way for you to get this thing new in box. So if you're looking for it, it's largely true of the Polaris edition cards as well, and some of the Vega cards as well. You're not going to find these new in box. They're definitely not being produced anymore. If you have one of these, you know. If you don't, oh well. But let's calculate for our R9 Fury. The R9 Fury is a first generation HBM card, if you're not familiar with it. So very fast memory. Let's take a look. Ravencoin at 89 cents per day. Ethereum Classic at 57 cents per day. And it's always possible we could push this a little faster than 29 mega hash on Ethash 4G, but it's a very high power consumption card because of its older core. So it, larger lithography and just thicker circuits, right? We've talked about this before. She's a thick gal, the R9 Fury. And Ethereum Classic is at 57 cents. Zano is at 53 cents. And Ergo is still on the list at 49 cents. If you still feel strongly about it, fine, go for it. These are ancient cards. The fact that they're returning any profit at all is practically a miracle right now. It's just amazing. So going down to the R9 380. The R9 380 at 14 cent kilowatt per kilowatt hour power is getting us 35 cents per day on Ethereum Classic, 31 cents on Ergo. 10 cents on Ravencoin, which is starting to look a little bit like, why are we doing this? And everything else, we are basically upside down, except for Callisto, which is at 1 cent, which is just like, you're playing with fire at that point, even at the 7-day average. Like, why are you doing that on that card? You can find cards that are a little higher performance and get you a little more profit. Let's jump into our live comments, guys. Get caught up here really, really fast. Gallo Salome says, we don't have Amish down here, just the Mennonites, but they'd make killer cards if they could find enough silicon. That's what I'm talking about. They're sober people, right? They don't drink. So what do they have to do on the weekends? Make GPUs or like work in Santa's workshop. Can you imagine these people with like tiny wooden like ball peen hammers or whatever? Like boop, boop, boop. I'm making GPUs for all the good boys and girls. Like, seriously, who wouldn't buy from them? They're the most wholesome, kind people in the world. And they're wicked smart. Wicked smart. So jumping back in the comment section as well. Jerry, welcome. I missed your comment before. Jerry says, I'm not selling any of my Bitcoin, even if a foreign drone bombs one of our biggest U.S. Bitcoin mining sites. I mean, it could happen. Let's sincerely hope that doesn't happen. I know I said, let's sincerely hope, right? Like, really, really hope it never comes to that. But that's a great plan, right? There's some people who want to hold because it is your backup plan, right? It is your plan B. If everything else goes to pot, right? You got your Bitcoin, you got your keys. Even if there's only one node left running, one full node left running, as long as it's an accurate copy of the Bitcoin blockchain, we can rebuild stronger, better. So it's a great backup plan. That's why I believe in Bitcoin as hard money. Do I think it's going to replace like the US dollar currency? Probably not. I don't think that regulators are going to let that happen in that way. But it is a hard currency in the same way that if I offered you a pre-1964 silver dime, you'd be crazy not to take it, right? It's hard money. It's worth far more than 10 cents. And if I offered you whatever, 2,000 Satoshis, right? Or if I made you a Satoshi millionaire, right? I sent you 1 million Satoshis, you'd be crazy not to accept it, right? It's hard money. It's good anywhere, even if it's not going to be like the US dollar for you or the fiat currency where you live. It's still hard currency. It's acceptable anywhere. So anybody who says otherwise is crazy. Like, sorry, I said that. I think I didn't say that strong enough. Anybody who says otherwise is totally crazy. There we go. That's better. All right. Jumping back in the comment section, we've got Kevin saying hello. Jerry saying hi to Kevin. Thank you for that. Anonymous Miner saying, see, all jokes aside, the Amish are very smart, hardworking people. Yeah, wicked smart. And William says, wonder what percentage of miners hodl versus sell immediately. That's a great question. I'm going to throw a poll into the community section of this YouTube channel, and we'll get that going. I had a lot of memes going, guys. I mean, sorry, not sorry. Memes make life bearable. Memes make life fun. So I'll have a meaningful poll there soon. But for now, more memes, right? The beatings will continue until morale improves. More memes. So Kyle says, pay you to lead, not to read. What? Huh? I'm genuinely confused. You're hurting my feelings. No, I'm just kidding. I actually don't know which one you're talking about. But right now, we're still going through some of the data, so we kind of have to read some. If that was commentary on what we got going on the screen right now. Anonymous is also saying I pay way less in taxes if I hold it 12 months or more before cashing out. That's totally true, guys. Capital gains tax is going to hit you differently depending on where you live in the world. So as far as miners cashing out immediately or miners holding, sometimes, yeah, if you can bear to hold things for a certain duration of time, then in terms of capital gains tax, it's in your best advantage, in your best interest to hold for that full year or 2 years or whatever the time frame is for capital gains to age out and then only liquidate what is totally necessary. At scale, that means having very deep pockets, as you know. So William says, I hold it all because mainly I mine Bitcoin and Ethereum. Don't see them doing anything except going up if held long enough. I have to agree. Yeah, I've held long enough. Most of these coins that are the high market cap coins or mid caps, they likely are going to go up over time, but it's a very long game. Kyle says Vega 56 rig would be a good starter. Anonymous Miner says he's got a video about it. And then Joseph is just tuning in saying, I'm still convinced we're watching Vanilla Ice with a glued on beard. Yo, collaborate and listen. Seth is back with a brand new edition. Golden Wolf says LOL lightly. Jumping back off the screen because I feel crazy. Okay, guys, that's our GPU mining profit. Going over to Bitcoin and the cost to mine one full Bitcoin. We are going to start with the Antminer S9. Guys, Lepe Monica says, new to the channel, found you on BitBoy's channel. Guys, what do you want to bet? Lepe Monica jumped in right when I was doing that little Vanilla Ice bit based on what Joseph was saying. Like, totally, it's Murphy's Law. They totally tuned in. The second I was doing that, they're like, this guy's a very serious person. He's going to tell me a lot about GPU mining. I'm going to learn something tonight. This is going to be educational. Tuned in, and there I am, like a sociopath, riffing on that little Vanilla Ice bit. All right, we'll jump back out of the way, getting our Antminer S9 and checking to see what it costs on 14-cent power. First off, we're seeing that the floor has been raised as far as where we're profitable. We can be profitable all the way up to 17 cents per kilowatt hour on the S9 right now. So clearly profits are up. That's a bit interesting. So even at 14-cent kilowatt hour power, we're still mining one full Bitcoin at $32,000. The reason that this has gone up is because of the current value of Bitcoin. Let's jump right back over to Fiat Leak, where we've got a little representation of that. It's just telling us our real-time pricing for Bitcoin. We'll jump back into our chart later on. We're at 39,783. So we've come back down a little bit, but we're still flirting with 40K. We weren't before. That's why we can mine at higher power and still be all right with the S9. Realistically, again, you've heard me say it at this point numerous times, but with the S9, we really need to get in the vicinity of at least 8-cent power. If that's not doable at your residence, if that's not doable at your home, you need to find a place to co-locate. You guys want a little secret? If you look, ooh, it's too good. It's too good. Guys, this is too good. But I got a little secret for you for sourcing really, really good power. I don't know if I want to talk about this publicly. I think I want to keep a little mystery in the relationship. Is that all right? There we go. Tighten up my bow tie. No sleeves, a little invisible bow tie. I think I want a little bit of mystery as far as that goes. But I'm just going to say, you can probably find power almost anywhere you are in the United States for 8 cents per kilowatt hour. But you have to really look for it. I'll just say that. It's doable in any one of the lower 48. Kyle, trade secret! Hey, he's totally right. Here's the thing, man. I'm like a special operator when it comes to consulting and when it comes to like actually being put on retainer. You can literally like airdrop me, and no, I won't skydive, right? Like I won't rappel in or whatever. I can rappel, but I don't have enough time to be able to, like on the apparatus, just jump out of a plane, like ooh, parachute in. The point is, the point is that you can drop me into any market, and I can probably find what you need, and I can probably get it done in relatively short order. So you're right. It is a trade secret. I'm going to leave that one alone, but I'm just going to say again, you can definitely source 8-cent power in every single state in the lower 48. That's not the cheapest rate, obviously, but you see here, it gets it done. You're still picking up a full Bitcoin for 18.3, even on the S9. Golden Wolf asks, Mind Your Biz, what's that site that looks like the Norse attack map? This one right here? That one? That's called fiatleak.com, and links to every single one of these resources. Everything I show you on the screen, I got links to it down in the description, guys. Really, sharing is caring. And these are free resources. Like, if the value of this content depends on me withholding information from you, then it's not that valuable, right? I fully admit that. The point is, we're having a great conversation here and just talking about what's on the screen and making some sense of it together and doing an interactive Q&A. Again, we're not quite at that channel size where I have to only filter comments by people who do paid super chats, right? We're not quite there yet. And I want to avoid getting to that point for as long as possible. Want to keep it interactive and keep it fun, right? Relatively small community like the way we are right now. Please do remember, though, that because we crossed the 10,000 subscriber mark, that we will be doing a giveaway. You're going to have to make a comment below the video, not the live stream comments, but the comments below the video afterwards, and just tell me what coin you want me to add to the portfolio. And that's it. We're going to keep it that simple. I don't think we're going to do live portfolio additions tonight just because of what my timeline is like, trying to get out the door in time to go to the gym for a very specific thing. But the winner will get this custom laser cut Raspberry Pi case. What does it look like? Or I don't think we're going to do the full plastic case on the bottom. What we'll be doing is, this is called, well, I don't think it actually has a name, but the point is, it's a sandwich topper that basically holds a 30 millimeter fan on top of that. You can see there are heat sinks on that board, and it fits in just perfectly. And it's a Raspberry Pi 4 there, and it's mounted directly into the hardware of a 2.5-inch solid state drive or a 2.5-inch hard drive. And that way it's all compact. And when you put a little SATA to USB adapter on it, it's all one piece. So the hard drive doesn't go walking anywhere, and the Raspberry Pi stays right where it's supposed to be. And then you put a little bit of thermal two-sided tape to just drop this guy right on top of it, and it stays right on top of the drive. It's really very convenient, and that's why I went with this design. So I'm going to be creating you a custom topper, and I'll be sending you the hardware right here for you to mount it onto whatever 2.5-inch drive you want. I'm getting questions in the live chat about my facial hair. St. Prado is asking, is that your real facial hair? Yes, it is. Here's the thing. Yes, it is. I know that with Spirit Gum, if you were putting on a fake mustache, you could do this too. You go like oh, I say, oh. You could actually like pull on your upper lip and it would move. But yes, this is my real facial hair. And I guess the big question is, if it weren't my real facial hair, why would I leave the gray in? Why would I do that if it weren't real? Like, if I didn't have to let it just grow on my face because that's the way it grew, why would I leave white and gray hairs in it? So yeah, we're just turning that corner, right, to having gray hair. Anyway, Gallo asks, who would even wear fake facial hair? And I agree, right? Like, either it grows on you or it doesn't. Just whatever. St. Prado goes on to ask, what's your secret? Love it. Well, I guess I appreciate you asking. I think Bavarian blood back in the day. That's got to be it. Yeah, somewhere Bavarian blood, a little bit of Polish blood somewhere. I don't know. Look in Europe, Western Europe. Look for the guys that have the thickest beards. They probably, went on some crusade out to the Caribbean and had a great weekend with one of my ancestors. So, sorry, the truth is pretty boring. Just genetic lottery. Got some lucky numbers in that department. But yeah, that's fiatleak.com, guys. Going back over to the cost to mine one full Bitcoin at 8 cents per kilowatt hour power, the S9 is making sense. If you can co-locate for 5 cents, it makes a much better business case. But it's gone up. 11.4. Gallo, oh man, guys, really, we're making it about identity. Is that really? This is the most interesting question you have to ask me. The most interesting comments in the comment section are about my beard. He says, Gallo says, testosterone. Actually, it's dihydrotestosterone. Let's talk about that. A little bit of biology lesson here. So dihydrotestosterone is why my hairline started to recede. And yeah, that tends to come from an overage of naturally occurring testosterone. But no, I do not take testosterone supplements. No, I do not take anything that I can inject into my skin. I just have a really big aversion to it, only because I don't need it. Like, again, I'm in okay shape, right? I'm okay. Not a big guy. Not full of myself or whatever. I feel good about the body that nature and God gave me, and I don't take supplemental testosterone. But it's interesting you brought it up. So just for the record, lifetime natty, bro. All right, back to the cost to mine one full Bitcoin at 5 cents per kilowatt hour. We're looking at 11.4 thousand US dollars. So there's still a business case, but again, it's rapidly disappearing, guys. We talked about it for a while. At about $10,500, I started saying, like, I'm getting the heebie-jeebies on this Antminer S9 hardware profile. I'd want to move it along if I were managing some kind of a farm. And here we are. The cost to acquire one full Bitcoin is almost $1,000 higher. We're just based on, I think, difficulty and based on, just current participation, right? So a percentage net hash versus, and then also difficulty to be able to get that Bitcoin. So the cost is going up. It's just going up for even at the lowest possible average power, where you can find co-location facilities in most countries. So on the Antminer S9, it's not bad, but I don't think it's the best possible option. MicroBT, the What's Miner, we go with the M20S as our secondary option here, our second model. And at 5 cents per kilowatt hour, you're seeing it's about $6,500, right? So at that same co-located price, much lower. At 8 cents per kilowatt hour, where you can maybe find a commercial rate somewhere locally, now you're still below what it costs to mine one full Bitcoin if you were on the Antminer S9 at 5 cent power, right? Like, you're almost $1,000 less. And bringing it up to residential rates, 14 cents per kilowatt hour, you're still mining one full Bitcoin for 18.4. It just makes so much more sense, guys, to try to be as efficient as possible with these ASIC mining hardware profiles. So ASICs, the S9 is back, right? It's back in business, but I don't know if you get another market cycle out of it. So I'd be careful. I'm very cautious about trying to pick any up right now. And if I had them personally, I might be trying to rotate them out of inventory. That's just me, not advice. But We got a comment or a question in the comment section from JMMJ asking, are the 360 Ti better than the 3090 at scale? That's a great question. And I think you're asking exactly the right question. Let me go back over to What's a Mine so we can get a little bit of context for this. And you guys know, for me, there's never a simple like yes or no answer, right? I like looking at the data and I like making sense of this stuff. I really, really do. It makes so much more sense to me. I feel like I honor you and your questions, and I honor you and your intelligence so much more by looking at some of the data and saying like, well, based on this, my opinion is this, informed this way. Instead of me just saying like, yeah, bro, just get it. Get like 50 of those. It's better at scale, bro. Ironically, for my clients who pay me, I am kind of more that way because they ask me to make it really streamlined. But for tonight, let's take a look at some of the data. The 3060 Ti, Brand Central jumps in and says the 3060 Ti is the most efficient of the GPUs. And there you go. Efficiency is the way to go. The 1060 is still in profit right now, and the Polaris Edition 580 is still in profit right now. And I mentioned this 3 years ago in a spreadsheet and in a video like so, because of their efficiency. That's why they're still profitable at all. Otherwise, they would totally been retired from GPU mining, but because they're so incredibly efficient, not really, really high performance, but efficient, they're still around. Right? And maybe the resale value isn't quite as high. That's one thing to consider, but the efficiency is there. So taking a look at the 3060 Ti, let's just use Ethereum and Ethash as our guide. So we got 58 mega hash by 130 watts. Now let's look at the 3090, 114 mega hash at 320 watts. We got the Deadwood in the comment section. What's up, buddy? He says, hello all. Sorry I'm late. Hey, we're just glad you're here, man. Thanks for showing up and hanging out with us. This is awesome. Anonymous Miner asks, Brand Central on Ravencoin, the 3070 is efficiency king. And that's just it, guys. When you look at Prog POW mining versus Ethereum mining versus some other like Ethash or Dagger Hashimoto mining, you're going to have slightly different efficiency profiles based on each algorithm. It is going to be a little bit different. Just like how we see a Team Red card being the most efficient on like Prog POW or Ka POW for Ravencoin, that's not very common. That's not the most common. You can tune them to be more efficient though, and you do have much more tunability in the Team Red cards. So there's got to be somebody out there who's making it work for them financially. They made the business case, but then there are other factors too. Like again, resale value. That 3070 is going to resell very well, very, very well. So all things considered, I mean, you just have to do your own work. You have to do your own research and figure out what you prioritize. But at scale, that was the question. You got the 3090. Let me grab a calculator to help us answer this question. So we're going to take that top number, 114, and we're going to divide it by our lower number, 320. That tells us how many hashes we get for every kilowatt or for every watt of power, right? And it's not bad, right? Oh, come on. Well, calculator thinking so we can run two instances of this. So this is our 3090. We're going to put our 3060 Ti over here. Now we're going to take 58 and divide it by 130. Boom. Right there, guys. At least for Ethereum, that efficiency, that's all that matters. Right? That efficiency profile at scale is all that matters. And of course, we have one more factor to consider, and that's the price to acquire that hardware, right? So price to acquire that hardware is going to make a big, big difference. JMMJ mentions 60 mega hash at 120 watts. It's possible that, yes, you're going to get much higher efficiency when you do your own tuning, right? When you do your own tuning. Just to be very, very clear, I don't offer optimized numbers on this channel, and there's a reason for that. Some people are not going to get a very good result based on the silicon lottery or based on the memory in the GPUs that they bought. They're going to go back to the channel and say like, oh, well, you didn't tell me that it was like that it was only with Hynix memory, or there was only with Samsung memory, or that when I had Elpida memory that I would have this problem. Hey, what about when I'm on Micron? Hey, why didn't you tell me that, Seth? Well, first off, I don't want to deal with that headache for right now, but also, when I do deal with that headache, it's generally speaking, it is for a client who's like, hey, we were going to do this at scale. It's absolutely mission critical that we make these numbers work at scale. That kind of motivates me. And I'm sorry to be weird about it, guys, but I'm just kind of shooting straight. That's the deal. That's kind of more my thing. Anyway, but I do enjoy hanging out with you and at least going over the basics here, right? Last factor there, or the last parameter to put in is your cost to acquire that hardware. And then you've got a way to figure out how long it'll take you to break even and whether or not it's going to make sense on the resale side as well. So you got a few more considerations, but at least these two numbers considered, that is your 3060 Ti, right? Significantly higher performance in the efficiency category than the 3090. So it's pretty major there. Pretty big difference. Sam chimes into the live comments and says onboard memory does make a difference. And you're totally right. You are totally right. Samsung is not equal to Elpida. Elpida is not equal to Micron, right? And Micron is not equal to Hynix. Guys, you can't just make generalizations and say that like, well, no, it's definitely for sure. This card is always going to earn this much. It's always going to be this high, this level of performance. You can't know that for everybody. You just can't, right? And there are always AIBs that come out with some brand new card that you think like, oh, or like XFX, right? They love to throw a wrench into things, right? Where it's like, hey, we did the refresh of this card, and you just happen to buy revision B, right? Revision B. And what they mean is it's just the cheapest possible memory they can get, and then you're hosed. So, just throwing it out there. But jumping back into our comments section, Brand Central says, good luck getting a 3060 Ti. Hey, good point. Yeah. Limitless Combo is asking, Limitless Combo is saying you're putting the money instead in hash power. Sure. And says some people want density so they don't have to spend extra for motherboard, PSU, RAM, and frame. Well, and that's where I disagree. At scale, that's not nearly as big a cost as you think, and you only know that when you work in scale. But yeah, if you're working at the small to mid scale, if you're working at home and you want to have only one rig, then yeah, you might want more hash rate density, possibly. But when you're talking about like scale, if what you mean is mid to large scale, not even a factor, not even a consideration. It's just not. It's really not. Some of those other costs are far lower than you think, even when you combine the costs of whips and C13 to C14s, right? Just the base connectors. And when you talk about various other plugs, and when you talk about even doing custom power runs, right? Or stepping down from 3-phase, or stepping down from just 240 volt down to something like 208 for just one facility to just run on one standardized voltage, right? To get the most out of what you have at your base panel for that facility, or from the nearest transformer, right? Sucking down more power from there at higher voltage for better stabilities and better power conditioning. It's less of a concern. Just less. Just going to throw it out there, guys. Not to make it weird, but hit up Bitsby tripping about it. He's a guy that does he works a lot at scale, and I think he'll say a similar thing. But also look at what he does, right? Look at his farm. Is his farm all like 6900 XTs, 6800 XTs? Is his farm all 3090s? Nah, no, it's not. It's really not. Anyway, just throwing it out there. I hope that helps answer that question about the 3060 Ti to the 3090. I hope that was helpful, guys. I really do. I haven't been putting the 3060 Ti in our lineup as part of the value and efficiency lineup, but maybe I should. Based on what you said, it looks like it is a bit. It's considerably higher performance in terms of being efficient like better than the 3060. Maybe it should replace the 3060 as our lineup there for the value and efficiency cards. So yeah, what do you say? Why don't we go ahead and moving forward, why don't we just stick with a 3060 Ti instead of the 3060? Does that make sense to everybody? It's not the entry level, but neither is the 1060. The 1050 Ti would be. So makes sense to me. Maybe I'll just do that moving forward. All right, guys, that's our cost to mine 1 Bitcoin as well. We got Yankee in the comments section. Hello, Yankee. How are you? We were just talking about GPU mining efficiency and finished talking about our cost to mine 1 Bitcoin as well. Cryptid Youth says the 3060 should be 48 mega hash. That also makes sense. We do have some inefficiencies here, guys. And again, I mentioned it before. These are the kinds of things that for me, I do like making more advanced spreadsheets about and just kind of talking about it more in depth in that way to track better numbers. But for a general conversation, I like sticking with what to mine's numbers only because they give they kind of temper the expectations of somebody who's just getting started and saying like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to start GPU mining. This is awesome. I'm going to be an Ethereum whale. And then they don't know how to optimize. You know what I mean? I've talked to people that have dozens of GPUs, and I kid you not, I'm talking about people who have like 50 or 100 GPUs, and they're not overclocking, and they're not undervolting, and they're not doing any VBIOS modifications. They're not copying memory timings, or they're not doing anything custom at all. This happens in the real world. So just to keep it simple, we'll just stick with what's here as the baseline numbers. And if you know better for yourself, bruh, that is your alpha. My lips are sealed if you are, okay? If yours are. So that's your little secret. Just throwing it out there. Barry Merritt jumps in and says 3060 would be better for Ravencoin. And Ian Spiker comes in and says, thumbs up. You know what? I agree, Ian. Thank you for the thumbs up. Let's jump over to our mining pool stats. Let's start with Bitcoin just to see what the total net hash is right now and get a quick look. But total net hash for Bitcoin right now is at 108 exahash. Dang! 108 exahash. That's a lot of hash rate. Whole lot of hash rate going on. Ant Pool is back online as the strongest pool in the world via BTC as well. And then F2 pool in number 3. Binance, that's just so funny. Binance.com. They have to put the American flag down. It's like, bro, look, CZ, we know you're Chinese. We know it's a Chinese company. Stop confusing the kids. Anyway. Golden Wolf said, LOL, BBT's ears burning. He just released a quick guide 40 seconds ago. That's awesome. And here's the funny thing, right? Like, he's got so much great data, and Michael Carter of Bitsby Trippin is such a great guy in terms of how much he just gives and gives and gives. I think that's awesome. I've just stopped making spreadsheets because I don't want to update spreadsheets. As you've seen as of last night in CoinGecko, some of the coin tracking is just so much easier using some of those tools. And then trying to track down all the hash rates. Again, I do that when it's commissioned work for a very specific purpose. Like, give me a specific purpose, give me a very specific direction, and then then I'll run at it. Kyle is saying education purpose, not financial advice. Yes, that's true. That's just it. Like, at a certain point, it is like, well, hey, if you definitely do these things, then you're going to carve out this much profit for yourself. I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say that. I am trying to be educational as possible, and we know the end result is that you hopefully improve your ability to earn with GPUs, right, and with ASICs and such. But going too deep, then it's like, oh, you told me to get this thing. Man, I got hazed. I got hazed so hard. I got so much hate back in 2018 when I covered some FPGAs. I mean, I still get like low tech, sort of like low tech or low key hate from a creator or two out there for being at all associated with the SQRL Labs Acorn, just being around it at all when it launched and interviewing their developer. And they still go out of their way to try to make hit pieces on that hardware. It's like, bro, let it go. Let it go. You can do no right in this industry at times. So anyway, Crypto says, showing the money, he means. Hey, you're not wrong. But you're also saying the same thing, right? We kind of want the same thing. So the Deadwood says, RebTech. Sorry, spelled it wrong. Guys, you're welcome. Glad we had a chance to look over that. Let me take a quick look at Ethereum as well. And top of the list should still be Ethermine, right? So Ethermine is still lion's share of the hash rate, but Sparkpool is not too far behind, as well as F2 Pool, not too far behind that. And Hivon, it's there. It's there. All these pools claim to offer MEV, but to the amount, we don't know. Not fully. I think that's going to be a video that somebody's going to have to release very, very soon. What the percentage of MEV is that's offered to the miners of a mining pool, and whether they're moving that up in response to EIP 1559, or if they're keeping it just the same and then continuing to pay for the payouts of, pay the fees for the payouts out to miners. We know that Ethermine, for example, will not be paying for the fees on the native L1 chain, Ethereum, only on Matic, only on Polygon. But they're still going to pay out MEV, even if you're on Polygon. So you get the best of both worlds, right? And daily payouts too. So I think there's a reason they're number one. I think they were very smart to offer that and to try to corral users into staying on Polygon. So I don't know, hopefully some of the other pools take note and try to do something similar, at least pay out on some secondary chain, some side chain for lower fees and faster payouts, faster turnarounds. We'll see which one does. Brand Central says everybody will switch to Polygon. Yeah, I know, that's the thing. And I think they know that too, but there are some other options coming up and I'd like to talk about them soon. Oh, I'm really nervous about it though, guys. I really am. I'm really nervous. There's always something in development, so we won't talk about it tonight, but hopefully soon. Again, remember, for the third time here, we'll say it again at the end of the video. Remember, after the video is over to leave your comments in the comments section below the video so you can be entered to receive potentially one of these guys, a little topper with some hardware to attach this as a sandwich style Raspberry Pi case to your favorite 2.5-inch drive. So you have your own little like compact, actively cooled Raspberry Pi combo. Let's jump out of the way here, though, and look at our portfolios. We got just enough time to do that before I've got to excuse myself. We're in our GPU portfolio right now. BTC is above the $1,000 mark based on when we put it in. Hallelujah! Got it running the way we need to. And, yeah, finally, BTC doing what we expect it to do. Killing it. Ethereum clawing its way back up towards the $1,000 mark. Same with Matic, Aave, interest-bearing wrapped ETH on Matic or on Polygon. Ravencoin coming up. Total, let's see, $7.24 up in the last 24 hours. Total P&L down 28%. Bottom of the list, still Haven. However, the developer team for Haven, if you haven't seen them over on Twitter, they've been doing live AMA today, answering as many questions as they possibly can about what happened during the hack, what their plans are moving forward. It's starting to come back up, right? $3.73. So they're making their way back up. The developers or the team leadership has taken very good responsibility. Very, very good responsibility. And we got Handyman asking, quick bro, most profitable payout opinion, Hivon, F2 Pool, or Ethermine? Here's the thing, when you ask me for a quick opinion and yeah, most profitable payout, I'm going to turn it back to our live audience. Guys, go ahead and respond to Handyman's comment there. Let Handyman know what you think. Between F2 Pool, Hivon, or Ethermine, what's your pick? All right, jumping back into the portfolio here. There's BitTube hurting bad, way down over the last 24 hours. Not sure what happened there. Could be some kind of catastrophic failure to the tech, but they're down 15%. That's a really big loss. I mean, it really stands out compared to the rest of the GPU mining portfolio. That's rough. I don't know what's happening there, but hope they're okay. And Haven, it's coming up. I told you guys, coming up. You had your shot at below $3. I think it's coming back up now because of the core team taking their PR very seriously and getting their developer team back on track. Moving back to our portfolio picker, we're going to go to the hard drive side of the portfolio. Made safe coin all day. Somebody asked in the live stream if I would ask Signa to the portfolio. It's been there for a while. That's why I didn't respond to that. I apologize. I knew we'd get over to this side and you'd be able to see. Signum is right there, and Signa, the symbol, is right there. It's in our portfolio, but it's looking like it's hurt. Chia still down 76% and dipping hard. I mean, just not recovering, right? Just hardly recovering at all, as opposed to most of the other sides of the portfolio. MadeSafe coin, again, it's our absolute hero, right? It's the hero we need, not the one we deserve, but there you have it. MadeSafe coin, Sia coin and Filecoin still middle of the road, middle of the pack. Not sure what's going on there. Sia coin also making the news. I'm going to have to come back to see exactly what the news cycle has been, but it made the news recently. I'm interested in seeing Skynet, how it does, possibly adding some of the static elements to the website into Skynet, which is backed by Sia coin, and then starting to make the website more and more decentralized over time and more persistent, using some of this untakedownable storage offered by some of these projects. You figure if it doesn't work real world, if you can't use it real world, then why hold the coin, right? What good is it? If they're talking about storage, let's hold them to their word, make it useful, right? So anyway, that's our hard drive mineable portfolio. Going over to CPU mineable coins. And top of the list, still Raptorium. Ooh, but the last hour, dang. What the heck? What just happened? On the hour chart, they got slapped in the face. I don't know what just happened there, but Raptorium, sorry about that. 7 Day, they're looking really good, and they're at the top of the list for our CPU mineable portfolio. We're up $26 over the last 24 hours, but total P&L is down 22%. Wow, Nero, still way down. Wow, Nero, you so down. But the trend is up. Varus coin looks like it's organically coming back down. Guys, we got him. Whoever it was that was doing that weird interference, hopefully they just stopped. Hopefully they're just letting the markets go back to organically what they're supposed to do. Look, guys, there are going to be people who are interested. There are going to be people who engage in not wash trading, but in high frequency trading, who engage in leverage trading if it's available for that coin based on the exchange. There are going to be people who engage in all kinds of market manipulation, guys. That's what trading is. We're actively trying to manipulate markets. We're trying to arbitrage profit, right? We're trying to, between exchanges, we're trying trying to buy the bottom. We're trying to sell the top, not the other way around where possible, if we're actively trading. If we're not, and we're just holding, then yeah, it looks like a heartbeat, right? Because we know this is part of the lifeblood of a financially, like a financially valued thing, right? Is that it's just going to have these fluctuations. But when it's just crazy up and down, that's not right, guys. That's not organic. It's not right. It's not normal. And it looks like nature is healing. Varus coin is no longer being manipulated. Maybe, right? Maybe it's not being manipulated, but bravo. If somebody within the reach of this video just stopped manipulating, thank you. That's very, very good to see, because I know the developers, they would not have condoned it. Not actively. I've interacted with these people. They would not have condoned it. Oh, Ozzy Boggentech, thank you so much for the reminder. You left a comment, and I did respond to it. Ozzy asks about Ether1, or the ticker symbol ETHO. IPFS storage, it works and is cheap. That's awesome. Let's add it to the portfolio. It's the one thing we have time to add to the portfolio tonight. It should still be GPU mineable, yes? So we're going to have to jump back to our GPU mining portfolio. First, let's make the rounds. Go to ASIC mineable coins first. Bitcoin over $1,000. Biggest loser, Horizon at 44% down. Dogecoin is down in the dumps too, 42%, but it's at 20 cents as far as the coin price itself. Market cap is high, but volume, not really sure how fast it's being traded there. John Germain asks, is IPFS fast? No, it's not. IPFS is not fast, and I think that's why Sia Coin went with Skynet, tried to do something a little bit different. I think that's why some of the other storage projects out there are trying to do something a little bit different, but IPFS is redundant. The point is not to be fast. The point is to be untakedownable, right? So if you want fast, go to AWS. If you want fast, rent servers from Google or from Microsoft. That's what they offer. Speed, efficiency, low cost. At the price of your security and at the price of your censorability. If they don't like you, you're shut down. That's it. You're done. You're gone. Your website is toast. But being able to use something like IPFS, they get a little less say in whether or not you're taken down. So Dogecoin down pretty bad. Litecoin is also down over the hour, but this week it's performing a little bit better. So there it is. We just added it, but it's already looking pretty good in the middle of the pack there. Same with Dash. Apparently great news coming out of Dash. Huge partnerships coming out of Dash. And I'm not talking about partnerships the way that Ripple Labs and XRP talks about partnerships. I mean real world, realized partnerships from Dash. Like real world partnerships that are actually in use, where you actually see ink dried on paper and stuff happening in the real world. So that's impressive. Definitely impressive to see it. And I'm pretty sure that's why we're seeing that formation right there. Little head and shoulders forming right most recently based on that news. Again, this is what organic pumps look like based on sentiment, because people feel really good about a project that's actually delivering, right? So that's cool. Definitely cool to see. Pirate Chain also moving up, like whoop, that's going parabolic. That general trend, the support line is like really continuing to ramp up, even though it's kind of like that sawtooth. That's you see that little curve, guys? That's cool. Very, very cool to see. And making its way towards the number 2 spot. Who knows? Maybe in just a little bit of time, maybe it can give Decred a run for its money. But that's our ASIC mining portfolio, FPGA portfolio, which we just added last night. We're going to check this out. Mimic is at the top of the list, but it's down 36%. It's up. The overall portfolio is up by $51 in the last 24 hours, but it's overall down, right? Our P&L is negative 47% since we added these. And we retroactively put all of these entries in at May 26th of this year. So all the price action and appreciation matches perfectly all of the other entries in these portfolios. So Mimic is our least worst loser, our least worst performing coin. Handshake is our worst performing coin, but even that is at 52% down, and coin value is at 15.9%. That is 9 cents. That's impressive based on the market cap. Hopefully, liquidity has there's enough volume to be meaningful there. But with Handshake, right, with HNS, you do have people who are registering names, right? They're registering domain names within HNS, and so they are paying out HNS. There is some volume simply owing to that. people buying in with other coins, seeing it pump, seeing their buying power increase, and buying something actively on that network. All right, Handyman is asking, when Ethermine states we highly recommend smaller miners to use Polygon Matic to receive their payouts promptly, what is considered a smaller miner? Less than or more than 1 gigahash? Probably about 1 gigahash. Yeah. So, but definitely less than, not more than 1 gigahash. That's not a smaller miner. Most people would consider even half a gigahash. No, just less than 1 gigahash. That seems kind of self-explanatory. If you've got to run like 5 kilowatts of power, like whatever, 3 kilowatts of power at home to be able to run your mining rigs, you're probably not a small miner, right? Or yeah. Anyway, just throwing it out there. So that's our FPGA portfolio. Jumping back into our GPU portfolio so we can add Ether 1. I think that's totally fair. And I really appreciate Ozzy Boggentech bringing that up. Hey, Golden Wolf says, okay, shop closing down. Stay savage. Thank you so much for the Stay Savage hashtag. Really appreciate that. Stay savage, guys. Go ahead and it's okay. You can make it a meme. When somebody drops it, you can do it too. All right, GPU, let's add that new coin. It is ticker symbol ETHO. And should be at the bottom of the list. Let's add a transaction. And let's open up another. There we go. Another tab here. Look up Ether 1. And let's jump back in time to 5. Nope, not 56. 526. And jump back in time. Make the range 528. And we got that one guy, Oz. Thank you. He's dropping the Savage Mine horns there. And May 26, let's look at 1,800 hours. There we go, 1,800 hours. Price was 11 cents, 9979. So that's our acquisition price. Now we're going to grab a calculator. Just do this by hand. Put in $1,000. Divide it by our acquisition price. 11,9979. And that tells us how many coins we picked up. Select all of that because we want it to fit neatly into the quantity. So we spend exactly $1,000 on that entry. Now we want to put in the date that we acquired it. May 26th at, oh, did I say? I said 1,800 hours. And let me get that right. There we go. I think it was at 6:11. There we go. We're still like, it's, horseshoes, guys. Horseshoes and hand grenades. Close enough is good. Now let's submit that, and it's in our portfolio, and we can see where Ether 1 lines up just below Zano, just above Polygon. But not the worst loser, definitely not the biggest gainer. 30% down. Pretty typical like the rest of the market from that day to this point. We'll see if it can recover. That's the big indicator of health, guys, is whether or not it can recover. Okay, guys, we are getting really close to the end of the show. We're not over yet. Really close to the end of the show. Just a reminder that after the show is over, you have to make sure to refresh the page and place a comment underneath this video saying which coin you'd like us to add to this portfolio, like you just saw me do right now. And we will add it very, very soon. But more importantly, I'm just going to use a random comment selector to be able to pick a winner for a case like this, right? Only yours is going to look a lot more like this when you put your Raspberry Pi in it. I'm going to be giving you a topper and hardware to mount this topper and a fan, a 30 millimeter fan, over your Raspberry Pi 3, 4, or 5, and it'll mount directly into the 2.5-inch drive of your choice. That way you can just have everything in one place if you want to. It's a really compact way to keep your Raspberry Pi. I think it's awesome personally. Plus, it's going to have a little logo on top. We'll make one that's custom just to the channel with the Mind Your Biz logo and a giant B over the fan ventilation port. All right, jump back out of the way, guys. Let's round it off with a look at our chart. Let's take a look. Hey, I'm feeling, still pretty darn good about our chopsticks in that ascending triangle, guys. So we've been kind of like dabbling, not with technical analysis per se. We've been showing our Bollinger Bands. We've been using a 2-hour time frame here on the Bitcoin USD Bitstamp chart, and just kind of taking a look at what Bitcoin's been doing over the last several days. We see how the volume has like really peaked over the last several days, showing that pump almost all the way up to $40,000. Here we are again, flirting with $40,000, right? We've been in the upper range. We may have to create, hopefully soon, a new channel, but zooming way out, and we've been trying to zoom way out, get a little bit of perspective for a while. We've had this lower channel that after we crossed about $30,000, yes, we retested it as support a couple of times, but we largely stayed above $30,000 and then moved sideways within that channel, 30 to 40. And then it broke out and made its way in with a little extra volume push, made its way all the way into the $50,000 to $60,000 channel, moved sideways for a little bit of time, almost 10 weeks, and then dropped back down. You see that 200-day moving average, right? The EMA right there, all the way down back to return to the $30,000 to $40,000 channel, right? We kind of largely lived there for a while. And again, looking at those time frames, it's like, you know what? We want to try something else again. Very interesting formations this time around. Been very interesting. Anonymous Miner says, I saw Nemesis mining Monero on a Raspberry Pi. You know what's funny? Based on the CPU instruction set, it's actually better to mine Monero on a Raspberry Pi than it is to run a full node on a Raspberry Pi. It's missing an instruction set. And whatever. That's awesome, though. Seriously, Nemesis would do that. That's rad. ABMNS Productions says, hello, people. Heart emoji. Well, hello. Thanks for saying hi. All right, so we've got that ascending triangle, and it looks very interesting when we're zoomed way out, but let's get a little bit closer. Like, it looks great, right? Right there. We're like, oh, look, your chopsticks are really good. We're trying to wrangle in these noodles, right? Because remember the chopsticks emoji. It's the only indicator you need. Chopsticks. But we really have outperformed what that ascending triangle indicated before. We got to write some new chopsticks on here, I guess, eventually. But right now, we're in uncharted territory for me, guys. Literally, I've never tried to chart anything quite like this. We've got a much higher, like we're channeling a little bit higher right now. We're ranging a little bit higher. We broke above there, tested that as our new support, right? So 36.8 is our new support. And then we are just not breaking 40. It looks like, no, we did though. We, instead of wicking up to 40, it looks like we actually have some candles that move into $40.8 thousand. Hey, that one guy, Oz, sorry, why do I have to approve an emoji of chopsticks? That's weird. Anyway. And ABMS Production says, I use my Raspberry Pi 4 as a chia farmer. That's great. That's great when you can do that. Now, that one guy, Oz, says, we need to get you those DCA scripts. I'm down. Sure. Yeah, take a look at that. But right here, guys, just taking a look at this very briefly. Very briefly, I think we probably need to write just something new and keeping it really simple, right? We've had these chopsticks on here for days, and they've been, I think, a really good guide. And I really do believe that anything that was above that ascending triangle has just been, like, awesome. Anything still purchasing below that ascending triangle, that seems to have played out, that ain't purchasing anything below it. And that does seem to have organically redefined, almost perfectly redefined our new support level for this most recent formation. Again, guys, I'm not pretending to know this stuff. I'm really not. But that was a lot of fun to write some lines on a chart and see in retrospect that they almost mean something. All right, guys, I'm not disparaging people who actually know TA. There's some people who make significant amounts of money. It's their full-time job, and they earn very well, understanding how to trade. But I am just saying, like, that's not me, right? That's really not me. You're seeing this stuff in real time, guys. Very funny. At any rate, guys, really appreciate you being here to the end of the show. This is the end of the show. Don't forget to leave that comment down in the comment section after this video is over. You could get one of these, and I would love to see you win. No, not the other guy. You. I hope you win. Guys, thanks so much for being tuned in. Thanks for hitting that thumbs up. Thank you for being subscribed, clicking the bell icon so you know when we're live. Thank you for sharing this video, guys. It's so much fun to have live comments. We're not so big that I can't just talk to you and have an open conversation. I don't have to just be picky and show just the stuff that is like super chat comments. This is a lot of fun. So thank you for sharing that as well. Being subscribed, being supportive. I will see you tomorrow night. Remember, I love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. If you want to be notified of videos like this in the future, first off, click subscribe, press the bell icon. Additionally, you can sign up for the Mind Your Biz email newsletter. That'll give you exclusive access to certain freebies, notifications for deals within the cryptocurrency mining space, as well as some of our flash sales for merchandise, which you can buy with cryptocurrency. That's right. It's the only cryptocurrency merch that you can buy with cryptocurrency. We practice what we preach. As always, thank you so much for watching. You're the reason I make this media. I love your face, and I will see you in the next one.